Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Coder. I'm Chris, and in this episode, this will be part 3 of the MultiSpieler server. We are going to first take a look at, I fixed some bugs on the server that we were talking about earlier in the previous episode. When we tried to create a room, we weren't getting a message back telling us whether or not we can, the game can start, or whether or not there are enough players, right? So that has now been fixed, and I'm going to demonstrate that first before we do anything else. So we left off here with this mp.joinRoom with our public room ID. Okay, so instead I'm just going to go ahead and comment that out and uncomment the create room. So since we're creating a room with a minimum of 2 players, a maximum of 2 players, what should happen is we should find ourselves in this message not enough players method. And I also, instead of just bringing back just descriptive messages here, I'm actually returning a room object, which I thought was more appropriate. Because at this point, yeah, we might get a message not enough players, but at some point, I'm going to implement the function that shows us how many players are in that room, and then the room object will play a bigger role. So what we can do here is, well, we'll see the JSON string that's going to get returned. Okay, so create room 22 player token. All right, so we'll save that, go back into Unity, and wait for the reloading of script assemblies. And press play. So, like I said, what should happen is we should get that message back telling us that there are not enough players to start the game. So, if we look in the console here, is we're creating a room with min 2 players, max 2 players, and token. Okay. We have min 2 players, max 2 players, room ID. We still are logging out all that stuff. We can probably stop that now. We also get our player ID, and then we get a message saying not enough players. And it gives us an ID, a room ID, so obviously we were dealing with a room object, which we literally could deserialize, which we might go ahead and do just to be on kind of a consistent thing like we're doing here. Alright, so I'm going to remove all of these logs because we don't need them, and let's see, we'll just add 1 log here just to kind of let us know what's happening, and we'll just do created room, and then we'll add the room.room ID. Okay. And then for the other ones, message game can start. What we'll do is we're going to deserialize the mp-room object first. So mp-room dot create from JSON, data, message, description, and we're going to do a debug.log, and we'll just say game can start. In room, and then we'll do room.room ID, so this will let us know that we can start in that room, and this one will just be mp-room, mp-room, create from JSON, data.message.description, and we're going to log not enough players to start game in room, and then room.room ID. Oops. Okay. So, and then we get back our player ID, and this is a message player joined. And then we can also say room, right? Because the player will give us the room ID, I think. Room ID, yes, did do that. And disconnect. Should we do anything else here? Message authentication. I guess we'll do a log here as well. Debug log authenticated player, and we're gonna get back a player ID here. Player. Alright, we'll do the token. Okay, player token, and so leave this comment, and now what I want to do is I want to change this so that we only need one player to start the game. So then we should actually get back this message here that the game can start. This one shouldn't be called, so we should be getting this one, and this one. So these three messages and along with this one. So this will be first. We'll do MP connect. We'll get message authentication, and we'll get a token back. We'll create the room with 1 min and 2 max, and then we'll get this message room created, and then we'll get a message game can start, and then we'll get a message player joined. All of these will happen. So we'll save and close, or close, not close, but stop. We will stop and play. So, check out our console. We have authenticated player token. This is our token. We have creating room with min players 1, max players 2, and a token. And then we get back a message that we created the room. This is the room ID we created. We get a message saying that the player joined the room, which is our local player. This is the player ID of our local player, and this is the room. And then we get a message saying that the game can start in room, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, when might you need to worry about receiving messages whether or not the game can start, or whether or not there aren't enough players, right? So, for that, I think what we're going to do is we're going to create... we'll create, for now, to keep things simple, I think what we'll do is we'll create some canvas objects. Because the way you would normally do this, I think, is you would create separate scenes in the game for this kind of thing. Because what you would do is you would navigate from one scene to the next. Yeah, so I'm not prepared to actually go down that road just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to just do something simpler. Like I said, we're going to create a canvas. So very simply, we're just going to go UI, and we're going to create a canvas. And just right off the bat here, just to keep things consistent with the way we usually do stuff, is I'm going to change this from constant pixel size to scale with screen size. And we're going to give a reference resolution of 1920 by 1080. And we're also going to go and save that, and then go over here to our game view, and we're going to change this from free aspect to 1920 by 1080, so that our resolution is going to match with our UI, and everything's just going to look nice, right? Okay. So here's our canvas. Actually, if we just double-click on the canvas, it'll actually focus in on the object. So what we'll call this, we're going to give this a name. We're going to call this Canvas Lobby. Alright? So, this is what our players are going to be looking at when they're in the lobby and the game can't start yet, right? So what we'll do is we'll create a text element in here. Text. And we're going to write lobby. And gonna set the centering options here for that text, and then we're going to make this bigger. Let's make it like 1000 by 100, and then I'm gonna increase the font size to just before it goes and disappears. So let's put it at 90, and then I don't like this gray color, even though I like gray. We're going to change this to a white, so kind of make it a little easier to see. And then I'm going to move this. Oddly enough, I feel like the canvas centering doesn't line up with the blocks, and that's fine. You're just going to have to ignore those. But we are at a 0 position, and we're going to go and change this to 450 in the Y. So this will be lobby. And what else we can do is... let's just keep it simple for now and add another text item. We'll just duplicate this one so it'll take on our properties. And we will... whoops. Reposition it, and this one will say waiting for additional players, and we're gonna have to make a bigger width here. Let's make it 1500. Waiting for additional players. Okay. And since this text is this big, the lobby, I don't like it. We're going to have to make it a little bigger. So let's go with 200. Let's make the width 2000. Even though that extends. Let's go with 1800. And bring this down a little bit. 400 maybe. It's good. And we'll make this bigger. And... maybe a bold. Yeah, okay. Alright, so there's our lobby. So now if we press play here, this will be the one thing that's going to show up, because we don't have any kind of logic yet to show or hide this, right? So, what we can do is... we can create another canvas, and what we'll do is we'll just duplicate this canvas to make our life a little easier. So we'll call this canvas connecting. So this will be the canvas that we want to show when we first start the game. So we're going to disable the game object here. Okay, so this canvas, the canvas lobby, is basically hidden. It's not active. So then we have this canvas connecting. Okay, and then we'll change this text to super awesome game. Of course, it's not wide enough. There we go. And we'll change this text to connecting. So, let's see here. This could kind of be our loading screen. So I'm going to rename this text object to, just call this status text. And we're going to use this, we're going to dynamically update this as we go through our different parts of the game, right? So instead of just showing the connecting, it'll actually show connecting, creating room, joining room, you know, that kind of thing. So, let's see here, we need one more, we need no more canvases. So it's either going to show this canvas here, or it's going to show the lobby canvas. And the canvas lobby, and both of these canvases actually should have like, this shouldn't just be an overlay. There should be like a something blocking the scene so that we can't see what's in the scene, right? So we need to add something to these, and I think that we have something that we can add. Simply, it could be maybe an image. Probably would be the easiest one to do. So we'll add an image here, and what we'll do is, because right now this is white, so this is going to hide our white fonts, we will make this like a dark gray. And the order in which these show, we have to actually, this image is on top, so we're going to take this image and basically drop it above, which is going to put it behind. It's kind of weird, but okay. So we're going to go ahead and scale that, and let's see, it's scaling evenly in this direction. This is about that big, it's fine. So let's go in the X direction and make that a little bigger. And we can extend it just a little further too. Okay, so that way we know that we're covering the entire area. And we're going to go ahead and duplicate this and move that over here. And let's call this background image. And just to stay consistent with like naming stuff here, this will be title text. Title text. And we'll also name this status text, even though this is probably not going to change. At some point, maybe what you'll want to do is you'll want to create like a the status text should be like you know, currently one player in the room waiting for blah blah players to join. 2 players in the room waiting for 3 more players to join. You know, that kind of gives you a more like you know, more information. It gives the player more information as to, okay, when can I expect to play this game? What am I doing? What am I waiting for? Right. So we'll save that. Super awesome game. Connecting. All right. So I guess we should start with starting, right? Or starting. Okay. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to create I guess we can use the game. Yeah, we can use the game script to basically make references to the canvas object. So what we'll do is we'll create some public variables. We'll do a public canvas, and I think we need to include using Unity engine.ui. So we'll do public canvas, and then this will be the we'll call this canvas connecting, and then canvas. What was that? What was I going to call this? Canvas lobby. Okay. So, before we start writing code, let's go ahead and put those where they need to be. So, canvas connecting. That'll be here, and canvas lobby will be here. All right, and okay, so that's all we need in Unity so far. We also will need. We should really have another script on each canvas that'll represent. Yeah, let's do that. I know I'm not trying to overcomplicate things, but I do like a certain amount of order. So we'll call this canvas canvas properties. No. I am so bad with naming things. How about game UI? How about that? That's going to be what's going to be on these canvases. So we're going to go here. Things are going to break now. Okay. So canvas connecting is going to get game UI, and canvas lobby is going to get game UI. And in each of these game UI, we're going to create a... first of all, we're going to tell it that we want to use the Unity UI. And then we're going to create a public property of type text. And we're going to name this status text. And then in Unity, we're going to go ahead and go to both of these and then define which objects these are, right? So in Canvas Lobby, we have our game UI component. Here's our status text, and that's expecting a text element. So we're going to drag the status text over here. And then same thing for canvas connecting. We're going to drag over status text. And that's that. Okay, so now these are connected, and we can start writing some code. So what we'll do is instead of canvas, we'll do game UI to make this a little more simple. Let's make sure that we didn't lose any references. Yep, we sure did. Okay, so let's go ahead and drag Canvas Lobby back onto Canvas Lobby. And canvas connecting. Okay, so when we want to reference the actual canvas, the game object of that, all we need to do is actually ask the game, ask the canvas lobby or the canvas connecting for the game object of that component, right? So first thing we should do is in here. We have message authentication. Okay, so we're going to create room. So we're going to change our status text. So that'll be canvas connecting dot status text equals creating room. What's the problem? Oh, it's the status text. This is a text object. We need to actually get the text property of the text object. Okay. So here we're telling it we're going to create a room. And then we get this message back saying the room was created. So we'll do canvas connecting dot status text dot text equals room created. And if we can start the game, then we will canvas connecting dot we can literally close this at this point, unless you want to show something that says the game will start and then do a delay and then hide the canvas, but I don't think that that's necessary. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and get the game object and tell it to set active equals false. Okay, so that's going to disable that canvas. And then if we don't have enough players, we will still want to go ahead and copy this. We'll still want to set this to false, but we will also want to enable the lobby. So canvas lobby dot game object dot set active equals true. And if we get a message that a player joined, we can update our lobby status text. So actually, if the game can start, we should also dismiss the lobby, because we might be getting this message game can start right away when we create the room, or we might also get it when someone else joins the room. So right now it's just us trying it out, so we can't really simulate someone else joining the room. So I'm just going to leave it at this, and hopefully, if I did everything correctly, I'm going to change this to requires 2 players. So yeah, like I said, hopefully if I did everything correctly, this should work without a problem. We can actually set the status canvas connecting dot status text dot text equals joined room. Okay, and then from here it'll probably jump over to the lobby. So let's press play and see what happens. See how many things we've broken or fixed. Okay. So the text changed really, really fast, as you saw that flash across the screen, and it took us into the lobby because we are still needing to wait for additional players. And you see how the canvas connecting is now disabled. This is enabled, so we're just literally sitting here waiting for players. So if we get another player to join, because our requirement is 2, then this lobby window will disappear, and we'll see the scene, right? Whatever is in the scene at the moment. Right now it's just a blue screen, but it's kind of, you know, something that we still need to work out, right? So now let's go ahead and try and simulate a, you know, when we're just 1 player, or that's required in the game. So we'll go back over here, and we'll say, okay, well, we're going to create the room, and the minimum amount of players required is 1. Let's go back over here. And we will start. And there we go. And we were let right into the game because there are no other players that we're waiting for. Cool. So that pretty much concludes this tutorial. Some of the things that we may have still yet to work out is there are some other messages that we can receive, such as an invalid room type, right? So if you try to join a room that doesn't exist, you can receive that message back. We have custom data, which is something that is going to be basically at the heart of the game server. This is where we actually send our data that we want to communicate back and forth with our local and remote players. We have a message that gets sent back when a player left, right? So when a player leaves, we want to make sure that we remove the reference to that player in our local instance of the game. We have a player list and a room list so that we can get a list of players for the room that we're in, or a room list for the server that we're connected to. We have the messages for setting a username, that we've set a username, or that a username has been changed, either by us or someone else. And for messages, that's pretty much it. We're going to start covering some of those in the next video, I think. We might actually look at adding a simple player, like a little box of a player. And then from there, we can continue on to actually work on this. So I have a client that I've written that just kind of runs in the console. And we're going to be able to simulate bringing on another player so that we can see what it looks like when another player joins. So that's going to be probably in the next video. And yep, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Remember, if you'd like an invitation to the server to create your own API key and app ID for your app, for your creating a game, testing out the server, that kind of thing. Join me over on Patreon, send me a message, and I will get you set up. If there's anything else you guys need, comments can go down below. There's a Discord where you can join and ask questions, and that's it. Tell all your friends about the channel, and I hope you liked the video. Till next time.